Show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel.
Good morning. It is time for Coffee and here on ON. Thanks for joining us. It's Friday. It's April the 4th. My name's Joe Callahan, and I'm being joined at the Coffee and table by Garrett Manseri. Hi, Garrett.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, everybody.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Dave's away for a few days, so Garrett is filling in. Melissa Murray will be here soon, and we'll be joined by Rich Elaine a little later on as well. The first segment of Coffee and is sponsored by the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Their relentless advocacy team supports members of all sizes and types. They work tirelessly to shape policies, ideas, and opportunities to improve the business environment. They endeavor to keep you informed of new regulations and legislative actions that could impact your business. For more information on the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, please visit their website, nrichamber.com. All right, Garrett, you doing okay?
I'm staying busy, Joe.
Staying busy. All right. Well, that's important. And we did get an email from Garrett because once again he's on another board that you got to.
Another one I was voluntold to be a part of. Yes.
I was going to say roped into, but here you are, and I'm sure you're happy to be on it. It's the George Nasuti Foundation and the fun run, the 5K's coming up.
Yes. So every year, I believe this is year 11. Of the race, and you can also walk the race. There are a number of people that do it as well. But we've held it every year on Memorial Day, which this year will be Monday, May 26th. So at 8 o'clock, we start off with a kids color run, which is a fun thing for the kids. It's a very short run, but they get doused in color packets, which they enjoy. I'm sure the parents enjoy it too, cleaning them up afterwards. And then we have the 5K start around 8:30. We start at the Leo Savoy School and just do a loop around East Woonsocket. And the cost is $25 to register, as well as you can order a T-shirt. And
Are there a lot of hills involved in this run, or is it basically flat?
So the way that we go this time is not that bad. The hill is Diamond Hill Road. And the biggest hill is right after the plazas there. There's a hill going up to where the apartments are on the other side of the Four Seasons.
Yep.
So that's the biggest hill. But the good news is that you can end down a hill. So you do go down Elder Baloo Road.
Okay.
So that kind of is easier. After you get a little tired from that, you can just coast
down the hill.
Which is good. We do have cash prizes, so we try to offer that as an incentive to get some good people to sign up. So first place is $300, second place $200, third place $100, and we have male and female categories. And we're also doing sponsorships. A little bit different this year. Normally it's just the $100 sponsorship, get your name on the T-shirt, but we decided to do a 300 level, 200 level, 100 level, and just based on the larger logo or name on the T-shirt. And that's to help us raise some extra money so that we can fund more scholarships and give back to the local athletic programs. So if you want to sign up, the website is called runsignup.com. And all you have to do is search for the race. It says Novans Pride, and you can find it that way. You can just sign up through there.
Okay. I don't know if you know the answer to this question, Garrett, because you're new to the foundation. But do you know how much money over the years that this 5K has raised?
So, considerable amount. We try to donate, I believe, a few $1,000s each year to the local athletic programs, and then the scholarships, I believe, are $1,000 scholarships, and they give out a few of those as well too, depending on how much funds are available.
Okay, well, great, and we hope it's another major success.
Hope for good weather, yes, but it is rain or shine. So I have run in the rain before, but it's less fun. So.
All right, moving along. We did have a note that was called in late yesterday, so I'm just getting to it today on a completely different subject, and you might have an opinion on this. I know I do, Garrett. On any news coverage, from world news even to the sports scene, the media. They'll twist you around in their web and swallow you into their jaws if you let them. And I would agree with this, and this is especially with national news. Now, I always said when you look at local news, and Melissa Murray's joining us here at the
Good
table.
morning.
Hi there, Melissa. When you look at local news and in sports, let's say, and they tell you, okay, the Bruins lost last night. Okay. That's a fact. There's no opinion over there.
Yep.
That is what happened. And so local news I believe is okay. It's when they start spinning it, or if they start saying the Bruins lost last night 4-1. and this is why. And they start giving you their opinion. Same thing with the national news. Do you see that with the national news, Garrett?
I think the national is much more slanted, but I think they do that as a way to kind of gain more viewership on their side. I mean, obviously Fox News goes a certain way, MSNBC goes a certain way, so I think they kind of hone in on that, trying to build up their own base, I guess, if they will. And then you have CNN, which I think is a little bit more balanced, but it's just their choice. I mean, you can choose if you don't like that particular outlet, you don't listen to the news, but you can definitely say that the national news is much more slanted than the local news, which is more factual.
You see that too, Melissa?
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. And I think I would go so far as to say that, channels like Fox and MSNBC, who are on the opposite sides of the political spectrum, they pander to the viewership to keep the viewership. It's unfortunate, you don't have like really straightforward news anymore. And so when folks are getting this information, they're getting also planted like seeds of like maybe how they should think. And especially with, social media, but
that's not the news.
That's not the news. But some people do
That's what they
get
use it
their
for.
news
That's
from
what
social media.
I get it.
Which
yeah.
I think is a bigger part of the problem also.
Yeah. Now, being a state senator, have you ever run across where, I don't know, let's say you put out a press release or something, and someone in the news media turned it completely around
Oh,
from what you were trying to get out there?
Yeah, of course. So I think that's when press releases can become helpful so that you can help, guide people to like what you're actually doing. Like this bill does A, B, C, because a lot of times people don't read the whole bill, right? The devil's in the details. But
Just give
they're
me
like,
the
oh,
headline.
this bill, well, I'll give you a good example. So I have a bill that it's basically like a Good Samaritan bill, right?
Okay.
So it allows people who work in the sex work industry to be able to report something that they see that looks off without having to get arrested or fear of arrested, right? And the thought is, if someone looks a little too young, someone is always beat up, someone looks like they're doing this against their will, somebody looks like they're being trafficked, right?
Okay.
Who's the first person that's going to see it, right?
Okay.
So you should be able to go to the cops and say, like, look, this person doesn't
This is
even,
what's happening,
right?
yeah.
Like, this is bad. This is going on.
Without them saying,
Yeah,
how did you find this out?
right. It's a Good Samaritan bill, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
But when it was posted, someone asked me, they were like, why did you put a bill to legalize prostitution? I'm like, well, that's not what that bill does. This is like an anti-trafficking bill, right? So it's that kind of thing. It's all because I didn't read it, right? But it's all in the details.
Okay. Moving on to other things, and I wanted to bring this up is because I'm putting it under the banner of what's wrong with people.
Oh, many things.
And unfortunately, the story's
How long do you have?
well, and unfortunately, the story is out of one socket, and it's the 6-year-old boy who was found wandering around on the streets last Saturday night, not wearing anything, and was almost hit by a car at 11 o'clock.
Jeez.
And the police bring him back to his apartment, and there's good old dad, passed out on his couch, surrounded by beer cans. Now, that part's not illegal. You can get drunk at home. Then if that's what you want to do, what you want to do. But you're in charge of the child, who's also autistic, by the way. And that's why he's, I don't know, why he took his clothes off or whatever.
Child endangerment, right.
When they finally were able to wake him up, he said, well, I did lock the door. Well, the child's 6. They're not stupid. And he figured out how to unlock the door and go take a stroll outside.
Yeah, and a lot of autistic kids have sensory issues, and they have issues with clothing.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you didn't know that, right?
So, if you're in charge, especially if you're in charge of an autistic kid, you shouldn't be getting drunk.
Yeah.
I don't care how addicted to alcohol you are.
Especially when you're the only adult in the house.
Especially when
there.
there's no one else looking out for the child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't say, well, I got the doors locked and I put him in his bedroom and he went to sleep, so now I can just, drink till I'm pass out.
Yeah.
And the answer is no.
No.
You can't do that. So he did submit to a breathalyzer test
Yep.
that the police gave him, and they decided, because his level of intoxication was so high,
Yep.
that there's no way he could properly care for the child. The child was taken to Landmark to be checked out because, and he was charged with child neglect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good for that, but back to the original question, what's wrong with people that you would allow yourself to be put into this situation?
Right. Right. There could be
Yeah.
a lot of factors there, but
I know
it's just really sad. It's
it
very
is,
sad.
it is sad, and I don't think they have found that Woonsocket or the motorcycle guy that the Woonsocket police were
That
chasing.
they were chasing him.
Oh,
Yeah, they
right.
lost him on.
They lost him on 295.
Yeah, on 295.
This is a fast motorcycle.
I saw he's going the wrong way. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
He was
Unreal.
able to elude the officers. He got onto 295 and said, there he goes. So what I don't understand, and maybe this is just them not letting the media know, it says the unnamed suspect, so I guess they know who it is. They just
sure
want to
they
tell
do.
us.
Right.
And they say, but he's wanted in Massachusetts, or her. I don't know. On a felony aggravated sexual assault charge.
Yeah, I read that. Gross.
I'm like, wow. And but as far as I know, they haven't been able to catch this person yet. But they must know the plate on the motorcycle.
Oh, sure.
So we know where you park it at
Where it's
night,
registered, yeah.
where it's registered. So
Yeah, you're gonna wake up with a knock on your door,
we're
and
gonna
guess
start,
what? We're here.
We're gonna start there and then spread out to
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
that until you are caught.
Yep.
So he must obviously be hiding at this point.
And I
right
forget
now,
what he was.
so-
The reason why he was fleeing, it was something else, something nefarious that was going on, obviously. And
like a drug deal or something like
no,
that.
I think it had to do with.
Or was
yeah,
it was it a no contact order?
Yeah, something like that.
He was violating it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Okay. So
Yeah.
wow. So we got that going on, and then we have we've heard it all over the United States, and now it's come to Rhode Island. At least one case where over in Lincoln, a Pawtucket man, he doesn't like Teslas. He doesn't like Elon. So I'm
Okay.
going to vandalize the car.
Yeah, not smart.
That's not a
And-
good choice.
And what? It's so, this is so Jetsons because the Tesla has cameras, and the Tesla recorded him
Right.
vandalizing the car. Of course, the owner saw it going on too, because the guy walked past his Tesla, then turned around and came back, and now he's doing you're doing something funky near the rear tire. He got out his key. And yep, there's the scratch. And the Tesla recorded him doing it. So it's a Pawtucket man, and he's been arrested. And he's charged with vandalism.
Yeah, you can't key some other person's car.
No. And they say, what do we have here? No, I must have read it someplace else. You have your First Amendment right to say, I don't like Elon Musk. And you can stand out in that parking lot and yell at all you want. Okay. But when you start vandalizing, then it's no.
That's not a First Amendment
that's not a
right.
First
To
Amendment
destroy
right.
someone else's property.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is
no.
destroying someone else's property. A person that has probably absolutely no relation with Elon Musk at all, other than they bought the car, and maybe they bought the car 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. Because
don't
they
know.
wanted an electric vehicle.
That's right.
So wild.
Yeah. And I did actually see an actual video yesterday of here's what you're supposed to do if you don't like Elon Musk. And it was some woman, she said, and there it is with the Tesla behind her. She said, I have finally gotten rid of this. I bought it a couple years ago, but I don't like what Elon's doing. I don't want to drive I don't want to be any part of his company. I just turned this in.
Yeah.
And bought another electric vehicle. She didn't say which one she bought. I would have liked to have known, but she didn't say. But that if you're that upset with Elon and you're driving his car, that's what you should do.
You know
Go
who did
turn
that?
yours in.
Elvira did that.
Mistress of the Dark?
Yes. And she filmed it. and she's-
Cassandra, really?
Yes,
I didn't know
and
she did that.
yep, she filmed her. Oh, there's my Tesla. Bye bye.
This was not her. Okay.
No,
The one I saw. But okay. Well then, okay, if you don't like your Tesla anymore, turn it in.
There's so many other brands now that you don't need to have that.
Every car company basically has an electric vehicle now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
option.
So
yeah.
Tesla was just happened to be the 1st. So go get another one. All right. So that's we'll move on to other subjects, but I like that. What in the world is wrong with people. So this segment of Coffee In has been sponsored by the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Their relentless advocacy team supports members of all sizes and types. Do you see them down at the State House? Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Okay, they come down and they lobby for different things and check on what's going on with you guys over there. So you can, so if you're running a business, so you don't have to. So check them out online, nrichamber.com. More Coffee Ins coming up. Stay tuned.
If you're celebrating a major event, regardless of the reason, Michael's Meats of Cumberland can elevate your next meal from ordinary to extraordinary with meats so good your guests will ask you where you got them. Tell them, Michael's Meats. Michael's Meats is in the Walgreens parking lot on Mendon Road in Cumberland, just north of the Ciabro Plaza. They're open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m., making your next meal truly special. Here's this week's specials at Michael's Meats.
These specials are in effect through Wednesday, April 9th. Fresh grade A all-natural chicken cutlets, $4.59 a pound. Large bay scallops, $7.99 a pound. Freshly ground extra lean ground turkey, $4.88 a pound. See more specials on Michael's Meats Facebook page. And remember, they're taking Easter orders. Call Michael's Meats at 401-305-5555.
The North Smithfield Emergency Management Agency is sponsoring a 9-week Community Emergency Response Team training class for Northern Rhode Island residents. The CERT class includes training on the psychology of disaster trauma, light search and rescue, emergency preparedness, fire safety, and basic first aid. The class is offered free of charge and will be held on Tuesday nights from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Classes will start on April 8th and run through June 3rd at the Emergency Management Agency at 83 Green Street in North Smithfield. For further information, contact the EMA office at 767-2206 or contact Deputy Director Jay Levinson at 401-230-9327. Information is also available on our website, www.nsema.org.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
We are local and live at 99.5.
It's Coffee In on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Murray and Garrett Mansiri. And Garrett, there's got to be times where you got to say to yourself, boy, I'm glad I'm not on the city council anymore.
When they were setting some lawsuits at the last meeting, I said, thank God that wasn't my vote. So
yeah, there's that going on. But the one I was thinking about is all the homeless encampments, and what do we do with them? And people are looking towards, they're looking at Chris Beauchamp, but they're also looking at the city council and say, okay, I want answers. Mm-hmm. And they're just so difficult to find. And so if you were on the city council now, Garrett, would you have any idea how to handle this problem?
Well, I think we all are pretty much on the same page as to what the steps we're doing. We didn't get a chance to finish it when we were on the council, but we were working towards establishing a Woonsocket shelter, that had a capacity enough for the people that are currently unhoused in Woonsocket, to establish that, as well as to establish a possible outdoor location too if people chose not to be inside the building. at least one location where we know all the people, where the people were and what they were doing at that site, so that they didn't have, spread out encampments all over the city, because I think that just causes a number of different problems, especially when they're along the river and trash is falling into the river and that kind of thing. So, I was supportive of that idea. I'm not so supportive of an outside group coming in and trying to run a shelter, because I don't know what their motive is. I mean, obviously the money is available now, but what's their long-term goal? Obviously if the city does it ourselves, our long-term goal is to get those people that are unhoused to be housed. But if you're an entity that basically makes money off of that operation, how do we know that they're actually going to work with these people and make sure that they get the services that they need to get out of the beds? Because they're looking at it from, we have to fill as many beds as possible. That's why they said we're going to close the shelter at a motel in Warwick and bring those people over here, because they want to maximize how much money they get based on how many beds they fill. It's not our purpose to fill up every bed that we can in Woonsocket. It's our purpose to help the people that are currently here, and the other communities can do their part as well too. So I'm supportive of the city doing it ourselves with our local partners like Community Care Alliance and the Milagros Project and New Beginnings. I mean, I think we have enough entities here that know Woonsocket, know the people here in Woonsocket, and can actually help those people the most.
The mayor.
I'm sorry if I can interject.
Go ahead.
So I think the value in using local entities is that they already have established relationships with these folks also, because it takes a long time to build that trust. And so some person that you've never met goes in and says, hey, we can move you and this and that, I mean, folks are naturally distrustful, and they're thinking, okay, well, why do you want me to move? But, if they go to somebody they know that they get food from every week, for instance, that, they trust, that they've gotten blankets from, or whatever, right? They can facilitate, I think, are in a better place to facilitate and convince those folks that, this isn't the best place for you to be, and we can provide you a place where you are safe, but also can maintain some of that autonomy, right? So I think it is a great idea to use the local folks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know the mayor, Chris Beauchamp, and some members of the city council, I'm not sure who exactly, went down to Pawtucket and looked at what they're doing. And they kind of like what that company, and I can't remember the name of it. Is it Open House?
Open Doors.
Open Doors. But they're a Connecticut company? I'm not positive on that. What they're doing, are you...
There's Open Doors RI also.
Is it? Okay. So would you be okay with them running that kind of a shelter here in Woonsocket?
Again, I would have to go down there and have a lot of conversations. I'm not in the position to make that decision without having all the knowledge.
Okay. Rich Lane has joined us at the coffee and table. Good morning, Rich.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here with us. Well, I'm hearing Garrett propose homeless shelter at 181 Mendon Road, which is right across from
Cumberland Street.
Cumberland Street. I'm sorry, which is across the street from St. Anne's. Good idea, bad idea? Go.
So my preferred site was always the All Saints Church, because I felt it was a more residential neighborhood. One of the challenges with the business districts or an event space is, the people naturally, are desperate for money, desperate for other things, and they'll be asking people for those things. And I think that's the challenge with putting a shelter in a business district in a downtown area. And I think that was part of the blowback about going to the YMCA, because it's, when all these people are coming in, if they're ask for money or ask for other things on the way in, they're going to feel unsafe in that particular situation. So, my preference was always to go in a residential neighborhood where they would feel like just more safe in that particular situation.
Would you get pushback from the residents though?
There's definitely that NIMBY factor.
No matter where, but I mean, that's why we built these churches in the first place, is to take care of people. And, that's the way that I look at it. And the ultimate goal, I think, is to reduce the amount of people that are unhoused in Woonsocket. I mean, it's grown. It's going to continue to grow as you see home prices go up, rents go up. We're going to have some kind of a solution for those people. And hopefully it's a shorter transition, and my pitch to the neighborhood, whichever neighborhood they prefer, is, the goal is to have the services there, to have the people there to help them so that they're not in there for a long term. The goal is to go there for, a couple of weeks, a month, 2 months to try to turn these lives around. Otherwise, if we just don't do anything, we just let them live outside, there's no solution, and the numbers are just going to grow. So to me, you've got to try to do that one shelter site in a safe area where they want to go to, and that it's going to actually make a difference.
Okay. Melissa, what do you think about the homeless shelter at that location?
Personally, I don't think that it's a bad location. It's close to Thunder Mist. I think regardless of where, that it needs to happen. And again, this is not a permanent thing. This is meant to be a stepping stone and get folks and address the underlying issues. But we need to do something. And no, not everybody will go. But I think if people knew that there was a place that they could go, that would offer them wraparound services, I think that would significantly reduce the number of people outside. But also, we need more housing. Of all levels. There's so many people now with the rents that are absolutely insane, and people are paying, $1,600 for one bedroom. They're paying up to $2,000, sometimes more. And all of these folks are just a few paychecks away from not having anywhere to live. And when you're like, okay, I'm just going to live in my car, or I'm just going to, sleep on my friend's couch for a while, that's only going to last so long. So, I think we need to address all of these issues.
All right. Rich, do you want to weigh in at all on this situation? I don't know if you knew what was going on.
Yeah. I mean, I deal with it a lot on the homeless veterans.
From the veterans' point of view,
side of things, and it can probably relate to, the general population too. Is you've got some that, and Melissa, you mentioned there was other factors. Yeah, there's other factors. Some of them don't want to get off the street. And I would venture to say that would be a majority. I was personally involved with one veteran that that was in a shelter, and I'm not going to say their names or anything because they're doing fantastic now, but they were in a shelter, and they've actually bettered themselves to the point where they got the apartment, the job, everything.
That's great.
So
that's
I mean,
the goal.
yeah,
right.
But that's the goal,
right?
But and the sad part about it is that I really don't think that's the majority.
Well, I think,
and just sadly to say, I don't think that's the majority.
And so, when you want to put somebody in a place where they can be able to access services, a lot of times that is congregate care. And a lot of folks who are struggling with mental health issues or whatever, for whatever reason, they're not comfortable living in a congregate care setting. And that can be difficult for a lot of people. And so they're like, well, I'd rather have my autonomy. I don't want to live with, 25 other people and share a bathroom with 3 people. That's all of us, right? So it's difficult. It's difficult. There's not just one silver bullet, right?
Okay, just moving on to I want to bring up one other thing before we go take a quick break, and it hasn't happened in about let's say, I think 5 years or so, but it happened yesterday right here in Woonsocket. Tractor trailer driving down Main Street hit the bridge right at Railroad Street. Yep, I'm not. How tall is that?
Well, no,
how
but
tall is my truck?
You look and you look at the road, and it's like that, and then it's like that. It's up and down. I mean, once you get underneath it, you got to come out of it.
Now, I don't have a license plate on the truck. It is a Swift truck, so this is a delivery kind of thing.
Hey, he missed it by quite a bit. I saw the pictures. I mean, you've got to.
But they could also be looking, and this is what they've said before. I don't know in this case what the situation is, but they're looking or they're listening to their GPS, which is taking them this way.
Right.
This is how you got to go to get to wherever you're going, and they're not paying attention to the signs that says the bridge is actually lower than your truck, and they crash into it.
Well, see, my dad drove truck, God rest his soul, for over 45 years. There were no GPSs around.
Back then, no, there weren't.
And I remember my dad saying, I can't go that way because I know what the bridge is like. So, you know something? You can count on your GPSs or whatever you want, but know where the hell you're going.
Well,
that's bottom line. Know where you're going and know what's in front of you.
Other communities, Garrett, have put up signs like 100 feet before the bridge. And you string it across the street, and it basically says, if you hit the sign and the sign will sway back and forth, you're going to hit that bridge.
Right.
Why couldn't we do something like that?
I think the challenge is, there's not really a good place to put that, because
No.
I was having that conversation with somebody, and I said, well, even if you put it like right after the Stadium Theater, right?
Yeah.
Where would you turn? I
That's
mean, if you had that truck,
You can't turn up Railroad Street
can't-
because it's going the wrong way.
you can't turn anyway. You can't turn on Federal Street. You can't turn where Ciro's Tavern is. There's
No.
no place. At that point, you're
already stuck.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
You know. But at that point, I think truck drivers just kind of go with it, thinking maybe I can make it, because where else are you gonna go? Otherwise, I mean, there's no chance to back up and move out. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, so they like hope to God that they can goes through.
At the American Legion post, it's funny you mention about trucks, because I see them coming down Second Ave and down to River Street, and then they go to make that left or right hand turn. It's comical. We actually
It's
have
very
a
tight.
big metal post right on that corner, and every 6 months or so, I'll go down to the post and the American Legion post, and I'll see that post. It's on the corner, kind of like bent over to one side.
You know what happened? Yeah.
You know what happened.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. More coming your way. Time for the forecast, being brought to you by Unbound.org. Cloudy skies this morning, gradually becoming mostly sunny with a high temperature near 64 with a light northwest wind. Tonight, partly cloudy, low temperature around 40, northeast wind 5 to 7 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, chance of showers throughout the day. High temperature will be near 47. Saturday night, cloudy with a chance of showers, low temperature around 40. Sunday, mostly cloudy, chance of showers, high near 61. Monday, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers in the morning, high near 49. And Tuesday, partly sunny, high near 47. Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Kennedy Street and Park Avenue in Socket, under mostly cloudy skies, we've got 60 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change the world, and it will change your own at unbound.org.
Hi, I'm Tim McCann from the Do You Remember Show. My wife Sandy and I are the owners of McTee's Tavern, located at 940 Menden Road in Cumberland. We are a family pub that specializes in great food and drinks. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m., we have trivia with New England Trivia. Thursdays at 7 p.m. is karaoke night with the one and only K&M Entertainment. Fridays is fish and chips night, and Saturdays at 7 p.m. we are back with karaoke with Mr. Johnny D. Come on in and give McTee's Tavern a try. Kitchen is open Wednesday through Saturday at 4 p.m. The bar is open Sunday through Friday at 3 p.m. and Saturdays at noon. McTee's Tavern, directly in front of Forecourt, 940 Menden Road, Cumberland.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest-standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision-making and a relationship-based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at milfordfederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, and MLS number 465956.
Hi, this is Pat Holland. Join me and Kevin Callahan live from the cheap seats for all the latest scores and behind-the-scenes stories. We'll bring you the game from a fan's point of view. Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. here on ON, AM, and FM radio.
This portion of Coffee In is sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Hey there, Blackstone Valley. The Valley Breeze is bringing back the Voices of the Valley Awards, and we want you to be a part of it. Who's got the best burger? The coolest hidden gem in town? You decide. Nominate and vote for your local favorites and help crown the best businesses, people, and places in this exciting community competition. Visit voicesofthevalley.net to learn more and vote daily for a chance to win cash prizes. That's voicesofthevalley.net.
All right, it's Coffee In on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Garrett Mansiri. Melissa Murray, Rich Elaine is here. And before we get to the post, we need to draw our three winners in our Business of the Day contest that we ran during the month of March. And everyone who...
Look at all those entries. These are a lot. Have we ever gotten that many entries? This is a lot.
There's a lot in here. I'm not...
Business of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We asked people to send in the list of all the businesses that we called out, and now we're going to pick three winners to win a $100, $75, and $50 gift card. And the three winners get to choose where their gift card comes from from one of the participating businesses.
Cool.
Walmart is not a business, so you can't get you
Right,
can't
they
get
have
it
to be on the
$100 from
list.
Walmart.
They have to be on the list.
Sorry about that. So Melissa, please, you pull the $100.
Or you want me to do it?
Well, I'm gonna have you and Garrett and Rich.
Oh,
pull.
okay.
So you get to pull the $100
I get to pull
winner
the $100
today. We'll go.
winner.
We'll go
Don't
100.
blame me if you don't win.
We'll go 175, and then we'll do the $50 one. So.
All right.
And if you can read the name, that would be great.
I will.
Who do you got?
And this is Rainey Lamoureux.
Hey, congratulations,
Woohoo!
Rainey. Fantastic. $100. So
Yep,
very good.
$100 gift certificate to the business of your choice.
Yes, and we'll
and
be
if
checking
you
in
are
with
listening, I'm the person on the phones today, so obviously I'm not at the phone right now, but I'm going to call you after
Yeah.
the show, and we can get
So you can
what
tell
business
us.
right. So, and if you're not listening, well then you won't.
You'll
know.
be surprised. Okay.
Surprise.
So, all right, Garrett, stick your hand in that prize bucket there and pull out the $75 winner.
Go to the bottom.
And what do you got there?
Some printer. Very nice.
Oh, good. It's easy to read then.
Yeah. Lisa Nickerson. From
Lisa
Woonsocket.
Nickerson from Woonsocket.
All right. Congratulations
right.
to you, Lisa.
See,
Congrats.
whatever-
$75 one.
Everybody went to the bottom. I'm going to
Go to
take.
the-
See,
go to the
I
top.
noticed this one right away. It had some red and some
Sticking
black.
out.
So I like.
But we
the
can't see the name, so we don't.
Can't see
it's
the
not-
name, so I like the multicolored stuff. And let's see, a lot of businesses on this one. But in the back it says Christopher
Farquhar.
Farquhar. Yeah, Christopher Farquhar. So
All right.
Woohoo!
They get the $50
Congratulations,
one.
everybody.
So we'll be either I or Melissa.
We will call you
we'll
after
call you.
Coffee Hand.
And
Yeah.
the way it works is we will get a hold of Rainey first, and he'll pick he gets first dibs at the businesses.
Right. So start
And
thinking
so
about your
let's
first,
say-
second, and third choice.
Yeah. Then when we call for the 75, when we call Lisa, she can't pick who Rainey picked.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christopher can't pick the other two as well. So we want to give out three from three different places. So congratulations. And how about this? Though I know this one because I saw it this morning. The Christopher Farquhar one. Melissa, you put up that envelope on the door.
Yes.
When we closed for the business.
Yep.
This was waiting for me this morning.
I'm so glad that I did that.
Yes, it was in an envelope and it said,
Just
"Oh,
in
good."
time, yeah.
They
So yeah,
squeaked in
because
right
we
in
had
the
an
door.
8 a.m. deadline.
Yeah.
So I put up a little envelope just to make sure,
And it worked this
because
time.
we aren't here overnight.
So anybody that says your entry doesn't count at the very, very last minute,
There you go.
Yeah,
you're wrong.
right.
You're wrong. See, that goes for voting and everything.
Yep,
so,
yep.
So you can
Every-
always
every,
only be
submission counts.
one sheet that comes out,
One.
and that makes a difference,
All right.
right?
Thanks to everyone that participated in the Business of the Day contest. Starting on Monday, new contest.
Mm-hmm.
Radio Square starts on Monday. Here's your chance to win $300 or $500 in Rhode Island lottery tickets. So the grand prize.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
you could
big
win.
deal.
You could win $1 million. Depending on how lucky you are with the scratch tickets. All
I
right.
don't know which one I would choose. I'm not eligible, but I don't know which one I would choose.
All right, Rich. It's post 85 update time, and we got a note that was called in. Looking to who do we contact over there? For
Why don't
events?
questions about an upcoming event at Post 85? So that's a little vague. I don't know what event, but I'll mention one event that is coming up tomorrow, which is our opening of the Purple Up campaign for the month of April. So we're starting with our ham dinner tomorrow night. That starts at 5 p.m. And like I said, it's for $10. You get a ham dinner. We got a couple other things that are going to be going on during that dinner time. And what Purple Up is all about is that all during, and we had Nikki LaFord on last week, the president of the Ladies Auxiliary, and they're the ones that run the Purple Up campaign. Well, Purple Up is all about, for those that don't know, is that during the month of April, it was back in 1986, where I think it was Defense Secretary Weinberger, if I'm not mistaken, actually deemed the month of April the month of the military child. So when you take all the colors in the different factions of the military and put them all together, it comes out with kind of like a purplish color. Although I haven't tried mixing the color of the Space Force in there, so I don't know if that's going to make a difference in the U. But anyhow, if you mix all those colors together, it's kind of a purplish type of color.
Lavender up is not going to sound as good.
Lavender, yeah.
Right.
But so that brings the purple. We call it Purple Up, and what it is that all the funds that we raise during the Purple Up campaign in the month of April goes towards military children in the state of Rhode Island. The money does not go out of the state, and all the different American Legion Post auxiliaries that raise money. Like down at Camp Fogarty, for instance, every year they have like a carnival down there. So Nikki and her crew raise money to help with that. They raise money to help with sending kids to the camps during the summertime. And like I said, it's all military kids, all in the state of Rhode Island. And the thing is with military kids, it's not only that the parents are in the military, the kid, I ain't even going to say suffers, but the kid is subject to whatever happens to the parent. So you can get military people, if they're in for 20 years, let's say you're doing a 20-year stint in the military, there's a possibility that you could move up to 4 or 5 times during that 20 years. Yeah. So you got to figure you're uprooting your family. The kids have to make new friends. They got to go to new schools. They got to get used to new surroundings and everything. So by being able to have these programs available and to be able to finance them really, really is good for the kids. So we're very dedicated to that. And like I said, this coming Saturday, tomorrow, is we kick it off at the ham dinner starting at 5 p.m. And next Friday, I'll tell you about it's Foolproof Brewery a week from tomorrow, where we're going to go down to Foolproof Brewery. And they do a fantastic job down in Pawtucket helping us out to raise funds. We also have a thing that's going to be going on at Cello's later on in the month. And then at the end of the month, we do a big spaghetti supper to close out Purple Up. And I think this is their 5th year doing it, and in the 5 years that they've been doing the Purple Up campaign, they've raised well over $50,000.
Wonderful.
To help military kids. So we're very, very proud of America, and I'm saying just American Legion Post 85 is raised that.
Yeah, this is a national effort.
Right. So we're very, very proud of the auxiliary and the work that's done down there for Purple Up and for the way they help our veterans and veteran families. It's an awesome job that they do, and come out and support. And I had said last week, and I'll say it again. All during the month, we're going to do different things to help the military child. So if you're a vendor out there or just somebody that wants to support but you can't come down to the events that we have, just come down to the American Legion Post 85 and say, I got this gift card. I want to donate to help, during the month for the military child. Drop the gift card off. Tell the bartender that's what it's there for. They'll put it away for us. If you want to make a cash donation, just go down there. Hey, every little bit helps. Like I tell somebody, if 100 people give $5, that's $500. It's a lot of money, So, whatever you can give, or whatever, if you say I want to help a military child and I want to know that's where every dime is going, that's what to do. Come on down to the post and just say you want to donate to that, and we'll be more than happy to take your money or your gift card.
Okay, great.
Very good.
And if they have questions about these events,
if you got questions about, thank you for bringing that back up. Yeah, for the person that called in and wants to know about the upcoming events, you can call 401-766-7585. Again, 401-766-7585. That's the American Legion Post. And if the person that answers the phone does not have an answer to your question, they can contact me and from the Post, and I'll be more than happy to give you a call back and answer your question for you.
Great.
All right, Rich, thanks. Other things going on here in the state of Rhode Island. Unfortunately, we had this woman down in Warwick who overdosed. She got a hold of some fentanyl-laced cannabis and died of the overdose. Now, the Warwick police are saying she did not purchase this from a licensed dispensary.
Right, yeah, that's
got
what I was
it on
about
the
to
streets
say.
somewhere.
Which is one of the big reasons to legalize it and regulate it so that you make sure that you don't get
this kind
something
of stuff
that is going to kill you.
So now the Warwick police are trying to determine where she actually got it. That might be difficult now that she certainly has passed away. But the investigation is ongoing. And up in Massachusetts, keep an eye on this. It's actually going faster than I thought. It's the Karen Reed trial.
Yeah.
The seating of the jury. They've already got 10. I'm like, 10 already?
They're ready to go, yeah.
Well, now they want 12 and 4 alternates. So we got to get to 16. All right? And I'm like, and 10 after 3 days.
Wow.
this is going great. So the problem, maybe they'll seat 2 more today, and we can pick up 4 more next week. So the actual trial part, may start next week, which I think would be amazing that it would start that soon. Because they were talking, this is going to take weeks for us to see the jury, because who doesn't have an opinion on this? But wow. And by the way, in case you wanted to know, it's 10 jurors right now, 5 women and 5 men. So we're split right down the middle right now on those jurors. All right, we're going to take a break on the Coffee and Panel. More is coming your way. And comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. This portion of Coffee and sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Hey there, Blackstone Valley. The Valley Breeze is bringing back the Voices of the Valley Awards, and we want you to be a part of it. Who's got the best burger? The coolest hidden gem in town? You decide. Nominate and vote for your local favorites and help crown the best businesses, people, and places in this exciting community competition. Visit voicesofthevalley.net to learn more and vote daily for a chance to win cash prizes. That's voicesofthevalley.net.
In a world where good food, friendly faces, and unforgettable memories collide, there's one place that stands out from the rest. Gators Pub is proudly celebrating 35 years of excellence in North Smithfield. Join us at Gators Pub, where every visit feels like coming home. Our secret to success? It's simple. Our super friendly staff and mouth-watering dishes prepared fresh daily by our talented chefs. Sink your teeth into our delectable lunch specials from Monday through Thursday and savor complimentary soup to warm your soul. Enjoy the game day excitement with multiple TVs showing the Boston Red Sox while indulging in classic appetizers like our famous potato skins and pita chips. Looking for a lively atmosphere to watch volleyball games? Look no further. Pair it with our juicy burgers or the latest cocktail creations to elevate your experience. Gators Pub, your ultimate destination for good times and great food. Come and celebrate with us at Gators Pub on Route 102, just a mile before Wright's Chicken Farm. Make every moment memorable at Gators Pub, where good friends and great flavors meet. Remember, there are no strangers at Gators Pub, just good friends you haven't met yet.
The staff at Trudell's Auction Gallery have more than 20 years of auction experience. They employ their own moving specialists to assure your valuables are packed and relocated safely to the gallery with ease. Auctions at Trudell's Auction Gallery take place on Monday mornings, and you can preview the items the weekend before. Check out their website to find the next auction, TrudellsAuction.com. The best little auction in Massachusetts is Trudell's Auction Gallery, 799 South Main Street, Bellingham.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
It's Coffee In on ON. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan. Rich Lane is here. Melissa Murray's here. Garrett Siri is here as well. And Melissa Smith, not Melissa Murray, but Melissa Smith on Wednesday's Coffee In program brought this up about the cost of tuition. And she said it was Tufts University, and she thought Boston College that had gone over the $100,000 mark for tuition and fees per year.
Crazy.
It's not those colleges. She's close. But it's actually Wellesley College, which makes a lot more sense.
Really?
The cost of attending Wellesley College as an undergraduate has climbed over $100,000 a year. This is tuition, housing, meals. All right? There's over $92,000 at Wellesley, and with books, travel, and health insurance bringing the total over $100,000. All right? Several other colleges not too far behind, like Melissa mentioned, Tufts, Boston College, Harvard, and Brandeis are all over the $90,000 mark right now. So
who can do that? You come out of school and you're
it's so funny because this is how they balance it off, I guess. When my son was looking at colleges, he actually looked at Roger Williams down in Bristol. That's a private college too.
Yeah.
And here comes the financial aid person, and the tuition then I think was $65,000, and they're trying to say, now don't worry. Okay, why shouldn't we worry? And they said because people that attend private schools tend to get more financial aid, so you get more financial aid if you go to a private school, and therefore it brings the cost down in level with the public school college. Okay, maybe. That may happen, but there's certainly no guarantee for that.
But like, no matter what you end up earning, and if you're lucky to get a job right out of school, right? If you're graduating
paying
with
that back, $400,000 in
yeah,
debt?
or more, right?
Or more, plus
$500,000 in debt. $500,000 in debt,
yeah.
and you don't even have a job yet.
Yeah,
that is
plus
just
interest.
how do you? I don't know. I couldn't even wrap my head around that.
Okay, all right. On another note, did you know that there's a place in the world that you're actually not allowed to go to? There's an island off the coast of India because there's a tribe of people there that will kill you.
That will hurt you, yeah.
They'll kill you
Yes.
if you go to their island.
Yes.
And so an American tourist, tried to do this. He's under arrest. He traveled to this restricted island in the Indian Ocean. It's home to an extremely isolated tribe. North Sentinel Island is technically part of India, but home to a tribe of outsiders called the Sentinelese, a group that has remained generally hostile to outsiders since at least the 18th century. So this man was arrested after trying to make contact with these people, filming his visit because he left a can of Coke on the beach just to see if they'll come out and see what it is.
Oh my gosh.
So he was taken into custody for further interrogation earlier this week. Now, here's the part. It's illegal by Indian law. It's illegal for anyone to visit the island for everyone's protection. The islanders have killed visitors before, including an American missionary who tried to contact them in 2018.
Yep, I remember that.
It's just absolutely illegal to visit this island.
For your own protection.
It's
so
really for your
why?
protection because they won't talk to you. They're just gonna, they're with the blow darts or knives or whatever they got, and we already know you're from the outside. We don't care what you have to say about anything. You're dead.
Right.
Like wow. So we just
not too smart.
They just live on this
An
island.
American leaving a can of Coca-Cola. It's
to watch
just
them come out and go, whoa, what's this?
That's like
I got a couple.
I can't.
I got a couple of Marine Corps buddies out there. I'm calling for a road trip.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I wonder what the perimeter is around the island. That
I don't know, but it sounds like a little recon mission to me. I don't know.
Well, they didn't kill the guy. The person
I think it was found, and
yeah.
So I don't think he had to go on the island to put the can of Coke on the island. So maybe he put the can of Coke back in his boat and get out of there so he could film them.
Oh right, and then he put the video on.
Maybe put it online.
I got to do research on this sucker now. I'm interested in this island now. I really am.
I've heard of this place.
Yeah.
You cannot go there.
Yes, they did kill a missionary there,
They will kill you.
but then just don't go.
Yeah.
Right,
But it makes you wonder what kind of.
Well, they must have film.
They have there.
They must have film or something. There's got to be some historic. I mean, somebody must have filmed it from up above. You fly over in a
drone
helicopter. You drone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, the Indian government probably knows who they are.
Yeah,
of course they do. Right.
I don't know if they have any contact with them, but they grow their own food on the island. They don't leave the island.
Yeah.
Everything is right there for them. And
There's no internet, no nothing like no TV, no nothing. But wouldn't they be shocked, huh? Grab one of them that I want to get off the island. Grab one of them.
You can't.
No.
Now they must see airplanes going overhead and wonder what they are.
Yeah.
But don't worry. But just stay away
Leave
from this
well
island.
enough alone.
You wonder if the chief is the one that's the educated one on the island, and it's just
Maybe it's a chief.
Keeping it that way?
Maybe it's a chief.
Remember they made that movie a few years ago, and I can't remember the name of the movie, where it was supposed to look like it was taking place in the 1800s, like on some farm, but it was really taking place in 1995, and it was the people that ran the farm were keeping the people dumb of what was going on, and I can't remember the name of this movie. But yeah, that was the twist at the end. It was really taking place in today. No, no one can remember this.
No.
Okay.
But now I kind of want to watch it.
All right. Anyway, moving on. This happened in Nevada. Seven tigers were seized from a man's property in Nevada.
Oh, I hate this.
Nye County authorities seized the big cats on Wednesday in a town called Pahrump, P-H-A-R-U-M-P, citing concerns over the animals' living conditions and permitting issues. The owners of the tigers, Carl Mitchell, was taken into custody for allegedly resisting arrest. Authorities say he did not have the correct special conditions animal permit for keeping the tigers, as required by the county.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you can own them if
just
you
have to
do
have-
it correctly.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, he claims he rescued the tigers from the infamous star of the Tiger King series,
I was going to bring that up.
Joe Exotic, and said he has the right to keep them, claiming them are his emotional support animals.
Oh, here we go. Yeah,
We'll be bringing them on a plane.
All 7 of them, yeah.
All
Tigers on a
tigers.
plane. I feel like that could be the
That
next.
new movie, that'll be a new big movie with Samuel L. Jackson.
This leads me to wonder, like, okay, he first goes and gets these tigers. Okay, pretty cool. You want to save tigers. How long have they been there? I mean,
Well, it's
it ain't
been-
like
it's
it ain't
been a
like he
long
got him and then
time,
the
right?
next day they find all this out.
It's been years.
Yeah, tigers have been
It's
hanging
been at
around
least
there for a
years.
while. It
Yeah.
appears, right? What took you so long to
It doesn't
go
say
after him?
It doesn't say how old the tigers are, but
Yeah.
tigers roar like
like
other big cats, and maybe the neighbors are finally all right. We're sick of this.
Let's just been,
Or maybe they're worried about him getting
That's
out.
been
right?
four and
I mean,
it's
my
been
God.
4.5 years. Let's go after him now.
Yeah,
Right?
so
Come on.
I love that. Nope, they're my emotional support animal, and he got them
Oh God.
from Tiger King, Joe Exotic. Okay.
Yeah. Is he still in jail?
I thought he died, but I'm not positive on that. No.
no.
Anyway, all right. Moving along, results of a recently released survey recognized, and I don't believe this survey, by the way, recognized San Francisco as the healthiest city in America. I find that hard to believe.
Well, you talk about what are they talking about? All the homeless out there,
Well,
and,
yeah, how
and
can
like
they
and
can't be
like all
healthy?
this like the
Well,
feces on the streets, and
Yeah.
you just the healthiest place
There's
in America.
stuff for
huh?
metrics, right? So like,
Yes.
if right.
They compared more than 180 American cities and 41 key metrics, including the average cost of medical and dental visits,
Okay.
the percentage of adults reporting a recent illness. Remember, this is just healthy stuff.
Right.
And
Oh, yeah.
a share of residents who say they eat healthy.
Okay.
So nothing about the cost of living in San Francisco.
Cost
which
of
is through
living
the
or
roof.
the homelessness that's on the
So it's
streets of
nothing
San
about that, it's
Francisco.
just
No, none
how
of the
healthy
bad
they
stuff.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
Well, if you have a lot of wealthy folks, then they're going to be able to
More healthy?
have access to fresh foods, which are more expensive. So, like, of course.
Yeah, on a survey of 1,000 people that make more than $500,000 a year, we
Right,
have found that.
Yeah, they're really
Could
healthy.
easily pick them,
They're
yeah.
not worried about the cost of healthcare, are they?
Yeah, they
No.
all shop at Whole Foods.
Yeah, that's
everything's
Whole
good.
paycheck.
Honolulu and Seattle come in second and third.
Okay.
The city that
Really
comes in
expensive
last,
places to live, right?
coming in at number 180, Brownsville, Texas. I've never been there, so I don't know.
Why did they pick? I guess just random town.
Well, I guess,
Coming in at
the average
180.
cost of medical and dental visits is pretty high there in Brownsville,
Yeah, don't move
Texas.
there.
So, okay. All right, the good news in the animal world, the first 2 California condor chicks of 2025 have hatched at the Oregon Zoo.
Okay.
The chicks are healthy and active, so yay for that. Several fertile eggs have been laid this year, and more chicks are expected soon. The California condor is an endangered species. In 1982, only 22 birds remained in the wild. Breeding programs like the one at the Oregon Zoo have increased the population to 560. So
Wow,
that's
impressive.
impressive.
Okay.
Yeah. More than 120 chicks have hatched at the Johnson Center since 2003, and nearly 100 birds have moved to field pens for release back into the wild. So
Great.
So that's good news there. Right? All right.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Anything else going on? That's of man accused of brandishing machete after shoplifting a cinnamon bun.
I think this belonged in the beginning of
I know.
the program.
We could do a whole show of just that, you know. Just-
Yeah, what's wrong with people? This happened in North Carolina. He's allegedly stole a cinnamon bun from a grocery store and then took out the machete. I'm taking this. and
Trying
you
to
can't
take
stop
it
me.
away from me.
Yeah.
He really wanted it.
Yep.
Really wanted that
He was
cinnamon
caught
bun.
though, and he was arrested, charged with armed robbery, shoplifting, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Ooh, there's a
Okay,
shock.
so there was something else going on there.
Well,
Yep.
like I said off the air a couple of minutes
had a
ago,
snack
when we were
attack.
talking about what's wrong with people, who ties your shoes?
When the police arrested him, he was eating the cinnamon bun.
Of course.
Here, eat the evidence. Eat the evidence. We gotta go before I get caught. What cinnamon bun? I don't know what you're talking
I don't know
about.
what you're talking about. He's got icing all over his face.
That's right. All right, that'll do it for the show for today. We thank you very much for listening in. Garrett Manseri, thanks for coming in today and helping me out.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
All right, and Melissa Murray, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.
All right, and Rich Lane from Post 85, thanks for coming in as usual on Friday.
Always fun and interesting, and please, everyone, if you got nothing really going on tomorrow, or come on down to American Legion Post 85 for that ham dinner starting at 5 p.m. and help us kick off a great Purple Up campaign for military kids.
All right, thanks, Rich. This is Joe Callahan. Stay tuned. Do You Remember is coming up at the noon time, 9 to 10, here on ON.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket.